You are
I
muted.
am muted as usual. I'm muted as usual because I forget to unmute myself. I bottle it, as Osam says. Welcome to Footy Judgment. Welcome, everybody. This is going to be a great show for you. I'm having here a great panel. We'll speak Newcastle, Ange Postecoglou failure, and Arsenal with Arteta. Can they win the Champions League? But also, what is happening with Odegaard? What is happening with Bukayo Saka? I'm having people telling me Bukayo Saka, who it is Phil Foden, that's the star boy, the real one of the Premier League. But I'm here with the wafflers themselves, TJ and Jacob, the crew and Staffy TV. Big up Staffy TV, of course. Make sure to give him a
I am not
subscription.
employed by Staffy
I'm not
TV.
employed
We are
by
not
Staffy
crew
TV
of
either.
Staffy TV. He does not. We
The
are not.
crew themselves.
I
They
heard
said,
that
listen,
Staffy was
oh
I heard
my,
that Staffy was Jacob's son. That's what I heard.
oh my God! Look
That's
at
just the
these
word on the
guys
street.
already saying that they're not employed by Staffy. Guys, make sure to check the American Waffle. What a great show! Lots of fun, lots of jokes, and also some football talks. Mainly waffle, but I'm here joined by Chris. Chris here to talk all things football. Follows Newcastle, of course. Reporting on them, can tell us everything Newcastle. Big up everybody that is here. Make sure to hit that like button. This is the Mojenda Waffle Mina. Probably this is. Listen, there's only one place to start. We can start with Newcastle a little bit. We can actually say that Eddie Howe today was overthinking the game, Chris, didn't he? Starting Livermento as a right winger. Like, what are you doing? Is that the chance is gone to get out of the group? But everybody be welcome, of course, to say whatever you want. Yeah, of course. Chris is muted, and
Yeah,
he
Am I
Chris.
muted?
Yeah, there you go.
you were, and you
You are
lost your
now.
chance
You
to
aren't
speak.
anymore.
Come on, brother.
Yeah.
No, the chance is not gone. I mean, we're last if you look at the table thing, but it's a pretty tight group. I think Newcastle's got 4 points, 5 points, 6 points, and 7 points. The one that's leading, I think, is dormant right now. Or yeah, but it's not done. I mean, you got hopes, but I think Newcastle needs to focus on the Carabao Cup, finishing top four. That's the main focus, man.
So, are you already done with the Champions League? You got
No,
or
no, no,
where do
no.
you guys
Ain't
where do you guys
nobody, ain't
finish?
nobody done. We got the hardest group. We got
No,
the.
I know, but no, I know. I understand that, but where do you finish?
Where do I think we're gonna finish?
Yeah, where are you gonna finish? Are you guys done? Are you going to Europa League? You're gonna make it out of the group stage? What do you think?
No, I think. Well, I think we're gonna go to Europa League. Honestly, if you want my opinion, but you know, job's not done. You got to keep fighting. You got to play AC Milan at home. That's gonna be a tough match for them. And look, if they win in Paris, then it's all bets are off. To be honest with you, and Newcastle can do it. Now today to me was I don't know. I was really surprised not to put Almiron, not to put Anthony Gordon, your best players, really. I think that Eddie Howe played what's that video game, the manager, or whatever.
Football manager?
Yeah, I think he played Football Manager with United, and it went so well that he said, "I'm going to play it again." And I think it wasn't necessary. Um, I mean, you don't just leave out your best players because if you look at Newcastle, it's basically an airplane, a jet, and without Almiron, without Anthony Gordon, it's just a plane without wings. I mean, you know what I mean? It just doesn't work. So it's just tough, but tough loss. But then again, Borussia Dortmund, man, you got to give it to them. They were good. They were good tonight. So it's not done. Job is not done yet. Still got chances. But then again, I think the main focus is Carabao Cup, finishing top four, and of course FA Cup too.
Listen, I gotta say that to be honest with you, I thought you would win. I was with Stafford this morning. I said
Yeah.
Newcastle can win. Newcastle can win the game. They didn't. You didn't win the game. And I thought that you played into their hands, to be honest, like with the
Sure.
lineups, with everything. Um, I actually don't know about Newcastle going to the Europa League, in my opinion, and people can correct me if I'm wrong. Uh, I actually think that you should, if you're not gonna go into the Champions League quarterfinals or around the 16, just get fourth, focus on top four. Don't go to Europa League and play Thursday football. You might not
Yeah.
win
Well,
it
that
because
that's been
nobody's gonna remember. Okay, I'm telling you, nobody's gonna remember Newcastle if you don't get if you don't win it and you don't make top 4. Well, if you win it and make top 4, yes. But if you don't win it at the end, even at the final, and you don't make the Champions League, I think that hinders your chances. I absolutely think so.
The main thing is that we just don't have the squad. I mean, everybody's getting hurt left and right, and you just can't keep playing
You have the
Wednesday,
squad.
Saturday. Yeah, we just don't got the squad, man. That's just the way it is. You know what I mean? So,
what do you think? What do you think your
squad.
weaknesses are? What do you think your weaknesses are? Because when I saw Newcastle coming in there, I saw potential. I didn't think you were going to win the group, and I thought you might make it out just because you have a really, really deep midfield.
You got
obviously Tonelli going out is a problem, but
that's a big deal.
I thought you guys had a really good advantage because your midfield was so deep.
Well, for right now, when you got so many injuries, you don't have a backup striker. Right now, Callum Wilson is playing, and he didn't even finish the game. He came out with problems in his he just had problems. He's never really he's never full fit. Like there's always something going on. And Isak is out. So then who are you going to play? Anthony Gordon goes to the middle. Then you got to have a winger. Joe Linton was playing that role today. Behind him, Willock, tremendous player, but it just didn't work. But then, to be honest with you, well, it worked against Manchester United, big club, but just a club that sucks. So you can kind of, put that into perspective. It's a weak club that we played with Manchester United against a Dortmund side that's a lot better. So, and actually, Dortmund, you got to keep this in consideration. Dortmund came from a really, really bad loss in the weekend, and they had to win this match no matter what. So they had that pressure compared to Newcastle, who comes from flying in the clouds after beating United, and you know what I mean. So, do I think they got complacent? I don't know. I don't think so. I mean, that would be playing with the players' ego mentality. I don't want to get into that, but at the end of the day, they were just in their A game, and we just Newcastle.
Do you want this is a mess about Newcastle that they don't have a deep squad. Newcastle have one of the deepest squads in the league.
But right now you got everybody's out.
Oh, let me just finish.
Okay.
Why are you telling me no?
I'm gonna drink my coffee.
You're jumping the gun. Okay, to be honest with you, it's all about the quality of the depth. You have 2 players in every position, right? Starting from the goalkeeper. Not a lot of teams have that. Now, Sandro Tonali suspension, yes. But the problem is the injuries are there. However, if I'm looking at the team that was there today, it should be good enough. Jamal Lascelles, Livramento, right? Kieran Trippier, Fabian Schär, Joe Linton, Willock is available, Bruno Guimaraes is available, Longstaff is available, Wilson is available, Almiron available, Gordon is available. I think that's good enough. Yeah, people like to say we don't have a deep squad. Newcastle have one of the deep. Newcastle have 2 players in every position. Every position. Now, you want to talk about the quality of the squad. I would rather have your squad than Arsenal squad, who have Eddie Nketiah, who have Reece Nelson, right? I'm sorry, this is reality, right? This is reality.
I'm an Arsenal fan, and I agree.
Tomiyasu's good,
but they're all hurt. I mean,
yeah, but you're hurt. But you have the second team. There is no position on the pitch other than a left fullback that you don't have anybody. Even though I thought Lewis Hall was available today, wasn't he?
Yeah, he played because
himself is a left back. So even he's not hurt.
But
Lewis Hall is quality.
This
notion that you don't have
but listen,
is wrong.
Dan Burn, who is probably the most, nobody thinks about him. I mean, he plays left back when he's 10 feet tall, but people don't realize how crucial he is for the team. Whenever all those wingers go, and Trippier goes forward all the time, then he stays back there and plays third center back. And it's him, Lascelles, and then you got Fabian Schär. So that's key to the defense of Newcastle. And he's not there. Then you got this kid, Lewis Hall, who is still a kid, even though he scored against United. He's still a kid. So and he had to deal with this kid. I forgot his name. This guy from Borussia Dortmund. He's terrific, man. This young kid that's playing on that side as a right winger. I forgot his name, but he was just giving him the business. He couldn't contain him.
Karim Adeyemi.
Yeah, Adeyemi. Yeah. So you know what I mean? It was just a lot today. And again, but the main thing for me is it's just that we should have just been playing how we've been playing, and he took out Almiron and Anthony Gordon. I don't know how that. I never understood that. Again, I think he was playing football manager, whatever it is.
I don't know what he's doing. But listen, I want to turn to Jacob and ask him something. Newcastle in the league, can they catch anybody in the league for top 4? And if they can, which one? Which team? Why you're smiling? Why you're smiling?
TJ knows my answer. TJ knows who I believe the team that is the most imposterous of the top 4. And I would say that's Arsenal.
You don't think Arsenal will make it to the Champions League?
You actually think that you are in a better position?
They can make 5th
after the injuries of
5th. Yeah, you're right.
After the injury of Van de Ven, after Madison got injured, right?
Madison's not injured. He got hurt. He took a lick. He walked off on his own accord, and he was frustrated at being subbed off in general.
So with Van de Ven injured, you don't think that you're in big trouble?
With Van de Ven injured, we're absolutely in big trouble. Yeah.
So why are you saying Arsenal then?
Why would I bet against my own team?
See, be objective.
You could have said Liverpool. You could have said Aston Villa.
No, I think Liverpool actually are the actual challengers to City if there are one at all.
Oh, this. Are you serious? With Romero out for 3 games, who do you have in the next 3 games? Jacob, do you know?
Wolves, City, and
Villa. Wolves away.
Yeah, you're taking 2 L's.
If you take 2 L's from these, Newcastle can catch up to you. Without Romero, without Van de Ven, your doggy's out
for 1.
You might take 2 L's. 2 L's, that's 6 points.
Yeah,
Newcastle are
that's
6
the key word there.
Might.
Everyone's got a crystal ball of Amazon. I want to know where everyone ordered this damn crystal ball that tells everybody the future.
No, but this is how it is. We look at the team, we look at how you play. So don't do that. This is how we analyze the future. So let me finish. I'm gonna let you finish. I didn't cut you off and you said crystal ball like 50 times. Okay.
I said it.
We look at the history and we try to analyze the future. That's how we do it, right? We don't see the future. Nobody does. But we look at a team, how they play, and we try to analyze the future. That's how it works. That's how the game works, right? So we're looking at your team, and without Romero, without Van de Ven, you're in big trouble. If you say no, it's up to you to think that Eric Dyer and Emerson Real can play center backs. Without a left back, by the way. Maybe Davies can play.
I never said those would be the first 2 that are on my list to play
so
center back.
Play center back for you.
Ashley Phillips.
Who's
Dorrington?
That? Everybody. Who's that? Everybody.
Academy players.
Do you
Young,
know?
18.
You would rather have academy players in than Eric Dyer?
Personally, yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised.
Didn't he
and I'm not
score?
even giving you I'm not even giving you crap for this. I wouldn't be surprised considering how Eric Dyer has looked around the club, at least visibly to the media. Like he doesn't have any he doesn't want to be fair. The coach doesn't want him there. Like I wouldn't be surprised actually.
Well, he doesn't fit the profile of player that we need to run this kind of system.
Facts.
Neither does Ben Davies. We know this. That's why.
Who's this guy?
Ashley
has he had 1 minute? Has he had 1 minute in the Premier League?
No, but he's been on the bench a couple times.
Okay, but he has it. So you want to tell me that you're going to go play City, Aston Villa, with a player that is not only that he hasn't had a minute in the Premier League, he's not even have the experience of a first team player ever because he's a youth player. Is that what we are now with Spurs fans? They look at the mirror and they say, yeah, Phillips
you have injuries and you have to play the kids. That's
but you won't play that. You won't play. Why won't you play that though?
For you to sit here and assume that. Okay, so let's get the questions out. Okay, Jacob. Do you think that Phillips can fill the hole of Romero and Van de Ven?
No, that is absurd to assume
that
anyone could fill that hole because that was one of the best partnerships in the league.
Okay. Is that guy Phillips, right, can be 10 or 20% of them?
20%? We could probably get 40% of one of those positions replaced with Phillips, maybe? Potentially 40% if I had to put some kind of random number on it.
I love your positivity.
I think that there's enough of a profile
you know
there.
What they do? You know what, Jacob? I get what you're doing, right? If he comes and plays well, you're gonna tell us.
I've had like 4 sentences. What am I doing?
I'll tell you what you're gonna do. If he plays well, you're gonna come and tell us, I told you so. But you have no evidence for this guy, okay, to come in and fill that place of Romero and Van de Ven. It's exactly as Arsenal telling me there is a player in the academy that will fill Saliba's shoes. Well, have we ever heard of him? No.
No one
But
said fill their shoes. No one said fill their shoes.
how
Mo.
is he going to play in the Premier League?
Well, he has to. Somebody has to actually be a warm body in that
It's
position.
going to be Emerson Royale and Eric
It's
Dyer.
not, we need a left back. That's Emerson Royale.
That's
Our
David.
right back, who's going to be the left.
David
So you're
James.
saying we have 2 center backs and a left back to replace immediately.
So you're going to you
That's
want to
not,
so you think it's going to be one of the academy boys playing, and you're not going to say Davis, Eric Dyer, Emerson
Davies. We don't
Royale?
even know if he's healthy.
All right. So Davis is out as well.
He hasn't trained. Yeah.
But with 9 man, Dyer almost tied the game.
Yeah, wouldn't
Almost
have
every
been a moment of because I would have had to.
Oh, he didn't.
No, he did not.
He was
Like,
just
no,
he was barely
everything
outside. He was outside.
I applaud Ange for what
You
he
know,
did.
there's
for
an
the
angle.
bravery, but also in the same time, it was a suicide mission, and it didn't succeed.
Oh, it was.
And it
Jacob.
didn't succeed.
You got to admit that.
Did it?
Hey,
By the
Mo.
way, it's an
Mo, you're
it was
closer
an
to
Alcantara
it than I am, and I'm not even going to say the name because everyone in the chat's going to get upset if I say it. But just remember the Alamo, Mo. You need to remember the
Here
Alamo.
we go. Here we go.
Remember the Alamo. All right, that's what I'm going
Just
to
to
chalk
let you
that
know,
up to.
I have
yeah.
no the Alamo. I just know the Alamo. It's a place in San Antonio, but I have
Yeah,
no idea what happened.
equating
You
the
should go
Alamo
visit,
to
get it.
losing.
I
Hang on.
went to
Chelsea?
visit. I went to visit. Don't tell me the Alamo. What the heck? What are you talking? What are we talking about? This is football, bro. You just lost a point, and I actually think that you would have been closer to the win. Forget the Alamo. It's not war, bro. You lost a point, and you could have been, in my opinion. And
You
I
were
heard
talking about history. I just brought up another historical fact. That's all I was doing.
Do you think you guys,
Apologies.
Mo? Can I ask you a question? Can I
Yeah,
ask you a
can.
question?
Anybody
think
can ask
if- do you-
anybody a question.
Do you think okay, maybe I can ask the panel then. Do you think if Chelsea would, or excuse me, Spurs would have played a low block, they would have been able to stink out a win against Chelsea?
Yeah,
Because Chelsea
would have been
historically,
it would've been-
offensively,
Hang
are
on,
not
you
been
didn't
that
even
great.
give him time to rub that crystal ball from Amazon for you to tell
All
him
right,
that answer.
let's get it.
But certainly it
Let's
would
get
have
that
been. It
thing
would
out.
certainly would have been easier though. I mean, this
What's it
this
say,
no,
Mo? What's it say?
Close enough.
Here we
Close
go.
enough.
Here we go. Listen,
I think your chances would have been better to get a draw if you guys
That's
would have
it.
played the low block.
that's it.
We don't
You
play
know
for the
what?
draw,
It-
baby.
It says that if you
Yeah.
put more gas in the car, you might have reached your destination, but you didn't.
Well, yeah,
So-
because we had
so
two
it-
people who were on our team take 2 of the tires off, and yeah, we're still trying to go cross country.
no, but let me. I have it. I didn't
If
watch
you had a
your.
spare tire, it would have worked, but you didn't. Did you?
But
We
look,
needed 2 spare tires.
You know,
One
I'm not
spare
making.
tire
You
ain't
know what?
fixing
You know,
that
I'm not
problem.
making. I'm not making fun of you. I'm just making fun of that notion that we have to back the manager no matter what. It was a brave decision, but it's stupid at the same time. People don't want to say it's stupid, right? If it worked, it's a risk. I like this game. I like to say it's a risk, but you play the game of how much risk was it? In my opinion, if you sat back, Chelsea, based on what they did in the league until now, they can't break low blocks. They just can't. They didn't do it this year, right? They did it only against Luton. So Spurs have better players. And you have one of the quickest players probably in the recent history of the Premier League in counter-attacks in Young-Min Son. But you didn't use him in counter-attacks, right? You played the high line and you collapsed the space for him. So he didn't have a space to run. Because Chelsea would have come out the back and they would have put players up top and they would have left Disasi only and Thiago Silva. That's what the logic says. But Big Ange said, no, I'm going to take the risk. So I get
love
the
it.
applause from the
You know,
fans.
Mo-
Yeah.
Yeah, standing ovation at the end of that
Absolutely.
too. Yeah,
Phenomenal. But
got
you
it
lost
all.
4-1 in a derby at home when you could have won probably. Or you could have given yourself a better chance.
Again, probably. I heard probably. If I heard maybes.
But everything is a maybe. Because, by the way, you could have played the low block and got another red card. How would I know? But all I know is that logic says that what I say, okay, my logic, not your logic. My logic says that what I'm saying is closer to the reality and what everybody's saying. That's it.
the notion that you have to
Yeah.
die by the sword is don't die at all. Try to save yourself, man.
Well, I mean, they were.
What y'all
to
acting
be
like
fair,
it's
to
because
be
we
fair to
lost?
them, they were
was it
close.
that we've died by the sword in some metaphorical sense. We haven't.
With the high, that line was like really, really high. The high line was
Jacob.
really, really high. It was really
Teams with
it was
11
dangerous.
men don't play that high of a line. Teams with 11 men don't
Yeah,
play
because
that
they're
high
scared of that work. We ain't.
But you know it's crazy though, Jacob, that actually before that got out of hand, Spurs could have easily tied this game. And it's sad to say.
Yeah, they had 3 chances.
It's sad to say for Chelsea fans. But what are your thoughts? I want to ask you something because I didn't watch your show today. I know you're a Romero lover. So what are your thoughts on his deal, on what he did yesterday?
Well, I think the best way to answer that would be to kind of answer how I felt about the way that the match went in general, which was we had some great football there for a moment, and the moment was very fleeting in the first 7 minutes of that match. I'm having a great time. I'm thinking, here we go. This is exactly what I thought we would be doing. And then Christian Romero decided to look to the left, look to the right, and throw a punch straight down the middle. And sometimes when you're out with the boys, you have that friend. He's your best friend. You love him so much, but occasionally if someone looks at him wrong, he may do something stupid. And unfortunately, because you love him so much, you kind of have to put up with some things like that. And for me, whether he got sent off from the kick out or he got sent, it's irrelevant. He got sent off. I keep the same energy in regards to the refereeing and VAR and yellow cards, red cards, etc. I say the same thing I said about Liverpool. You play cleaner, you take the referee out of the match, and then that doesn't happen. It's as simple as I can put it. And I say the same thing for you.
He was an idiot. That's what you want to say.
No, I would never call my own players idiots. That's just distasteful to me. That certain people can do that. Some people will say that. That's just distasteful, in my opinion. So I don't do that.
You don't think he was an idiot?
I don't.
You know,
I think
Jacob,
I actually think that's a kind of a harsh word, and I would never say that about players whom I care so much about. So no, I would not.
Jacob,
I would not say they were an idiot.
Do you think that there were any questionable calls? The Udogie yellow. Do you think that should have been a red at the beginning, or are you giving the ref the benefit of the doubt there, like your boy Ange was?
I mean, in the moment of the match, I'm thinking, oh hell yeah, we just got away with one. And when I will look back at it, I'm looking at the stills of Udogie off of the air with 2 feet forward, studs up. That is. I don't know.
That's not.
I guess because he didn't do any damage. They're like, you almost drove your car into the building, but you really didn't. So to me,
you just clipped your mirror off.
He just took off. Yeah, there goes your mirror, but that's about it. And so that's my point. That's my point is saying it is I feel like we were getting away with shit. We were lucky to, and then we continued to do the same thing. We were just lucky to get away. It's like we stole candy in front of a cop at the gas station, and then we said, you know what? Let's go back and get some more. He didn't see us the first time. And to me, it's just like you got to draw the line somewhere. You got to, and that is on Christian Romero. That is on Destiny. So they're not, because I care about them as humans and players. That doesn't negate the fact that they. I like the word donut. Someone said I think. I heard someone call them donuts, and I like donuts. Donuts are edible, they're fun, and kind of silly. So I think, they were both 2 donuts on the day for sure.
Yeah, but that first one, no way, it's a red card, man. No way.
What?
I disagree.
No.
I disagree.
Hold on. What is happening here? I was dealing with something in the chat. What is happening?
We're talking about the 2-footed tackle that Udogie put in.
But
I don't think that's a red card at all.
No, because
I think it's a red card, but that's
why did you say a red card?
Because he went in flying with both boots.
Did he catch him?
He glanced him. He still hit him.
Did he mean to hit him, or that was a reckless tackle?
Doesn't matter if you need.
It matters.
To hit him.
Okay, so hear me out. So this is how it works.
Okay.
If it's a reckless tackle, right? A reckless tackle, but you don't mean to go hurt him. Right? You don't mean to go hurt him. It's a reckless tackle. And if you don't catch the player and you catch the ball, okay, it is not a red card. But if it's a reckless tackle,
can we agree that's up to interpretation? Because
no,
I think other refs would have given him a red for that. I don't
think that tackle. By the way, just to be honest with you, I actually don't think that tackle was that tough at all.
No, I don't think so either. Maybe Twitter
went disoriented. It looked like a Sunday league tackle, a clumsy, non-formed tackle that you just kind of went into. And to me, it may have been harsh, but also if they gave him the red, I would have said, I mean, you got to look at that and say,
no.
I mean, you catch him with the studs. I mean, what if he hadn't moved?
Did he catch him with the studs?
He caught him right on. Like that's all I'm saying is that he went.
By the way, his foot was not high. Was his foot high or on the ground?
Which one?
No, it was very.
Doggy. When he.
But which of the 2 feet?
Okay, both of them. By the way, when the contact happened, they were on the ground. But go watch it again. When the contact happened, both feet were sliding on the ground. Yes, he jumped, but both feet were sliding on the ground. I don't think that's as dangerous as people make it. They weren't in the air. When he made the contact, they weren't in the air. By the time he got to Raheem Sterling, I think it was on the ground. This is what I would think. To be honest, listen, I say it as it is. People think I
don't think you have an agenda, Mo. I'm just asking you, have you seen Reds given for less?
No, not for less.
Really?
Not for less.
Okay.
I actually think
agree to disagree on
I
that
actually think Raheem Sterling acted a little bit. I know, by the way, nobody want to mention that Raheem Sterling should have had a red card this game. Twice.
Which one?
Twice. In the 18. Twice trying to buy a penalty in the 18. The one when Van der Ven didn't touch him, and the one when he flew right.
You see that all the time. You see that all the time. People
why do people not talk about Raheem Sterling? Okay, so hold on. Why do people not want to talk about Raheem Sterling diving twice inside the 18? But when Bissouma dived outside, listen, I'm here slagging Romero and calling him an idiot. That's the difference between me and the people. I don't have tribalism in this game. I call it as it is. You guys don't. You guys think that I have an agenda against somebody. I'm calling Romero red card and a 3-game ban, right? But I'm thinking you doggy one isn't. But nobody wanted to look at Raheem Sterling and say that you dived twice asking for a penalty and no one looked at you to give you even a yellow card. But when Bissouma dived outside the 18, he got a second yellow and got suspended the game after. Was that a fact or not? Did Raheem Sterling? The question here is, for everybody in the chat, that people that call me, Mo, stop this agenda. Did Raheem Sterling dive twice? It's a yes or no question. It's as simple as that.
I don't even remember the place, to be honest.
Exactly.
No, I know. I remember the play. I remember the play. He went down easy, but everybody does that.
Twice.
But that happens all the time, though.
It happens all the time.
If you're blatantly trying,
literally flow.
No, Jesus does that every game.
Oh my god.
All quick and agile players do that crap. And I guess if you're blatantly
nowadays you get yellow cards for it, Chris.
If you do the LeBron James and you just do the possum and you just fall like that out of nowhere, then I guess that would be. But if the dude is running and feels contact,
he didn't run. He saw Van der Ven trying to kick the ball. By the way, that's the same play of the penalty. By the way, right? So that's why he didn't get a yellow card for it. But he dove another one without Emerson Royal touching him, right? And he dove. Come on, and nobody even looked at that.
True,
guys. Nobody looked at it, right? But nobody wants to.
I know, but I'm just saying that's more common than a.
I don't lie. People that call me lie. I don't lie, my man.
You're not lying. I'm not saying that you're lying.
Nobody's saying you're crazy.
Nobody. It's crazy. Alex in the chat. You have a goldfish memory. You just don't remember. I remember things like that in the game.
For me personally, I would never. I don't like looking back and saying, oh, the ref missed this or the ref did that wrong. I never give them credit and I never blame them, because one thing that is constant that we always know, it is not just you versus the opponent. The ref is there and can influence things. That is a constant. That is not a variable. So with that in your head, you should know the ref will, VAR will, it is inevitable that they will get some things wrong and some things right within the time frame of that 90 minutes. We all know that. So my point being is, like, I don't get upset that, you know, Spurs fans were looking at that first offside goal that we got, Brennan Johnson, his son. I think it's silly to even do that, because regardless, there's 87 more minutes to go and get that second goal, but we didn't do that. Things went the way that they went. So I never like blaming refs. I never like to look back and say, oh, he didn't. Well, what about this? And, oh, well, what about that? Look, it is what it is. Life ain't fair. Things ain't always fair. And you got to roll with the punches. And it is your job to withstand whatever it is that the world or the refs or everyone's trying to hold you back with. It is your duty as a player, manager, etc., to break free from that. So that's my personal interpretation. I don't give a shit what the ref does. It's going to be what it's going to be.
For the record. The record was correct. Actually, Romero should have had a red card earlier, actually, because I think kicking a player, I don't care how hard it is.
Agree with that.
Guys, listen, Chris, you can do that. Listen, the rule doesn't say how hard you kick a player. Off the ball, you kick a player. It's a record.
Some things you can't. Man, this is a really important match. Best match of the week. Everybody wants to watch it. You gotta leave. You gotta let the show be, man. You can't just start.
What do you mean? Let the show be so people can punch each other behind off the ball and then we get away with it? It's not how it is.
When Romero did the second one, he could have snapped. What's his name? Whoever's foot was, he could have snapped his leg. I mean, that could have happened. So that's a really dangerous play. He needs to be out. But on the second one, he just tapped him. You know what I mean? Come on. We got sometimes, man. I see the Premier League has become so soft. You know what I mean? Like, what happened to this? Nobody, I'm sure you guys will not know because nobody cares about Wolves. But it was a match between Wolves and somebody and some other team, and the dude just got up and kind of just shoved him with his eyebrow, ejected. 3 matches. Come on, man. Stop playing.
Big up everybody that joined from Hussam Street. Thank you, everybody from This Is Football. I hope that you guys enjoyed the A-lister and the cooking that happened, and that was a brilliant show. Make sure to hit that like button for us. Subscribe if you're new to the channel, but hit that like button for us. Get us to 150 likes, 200 likes. We're talking Spurs, we're talking Arsenal, we spoke Newcastle as well. But listen, I want to get to TJ in this. Question is, Spurs.
Yeah.
What's the ceiling this year? How do you see them? Where do you see them finishing? What's the ceiling for this project this year? Not next year, this year.
It depends on how the injuries turn out. I think Van de Ven is a huge loss for them. I think that Romero Red card is a huge loss for them. I'm trying to be as objective as possible here, but I think they're only winning 1 in the next 3. To be honest, and I think that's a huge blow. I think they had a better chance against Wolves. They had a better chance against Newcastle. They had a better chance against City with their starting 11. I mean, they're starting if they had their starting 11 that they started against Chelsea with, that Man City would be a game. Now it's not a game. So they're going to lose critical points, critical parts in the season. I think their ceiling is 5th. Because Ange is playing very, very, and if you had asked me at the beginning of the season, Mo, I would have said 7th or 8th. But the attacking football that they're playing, it's very progressive. It scores a lot of goals, but at the same time, it gives up a lot of chances. And I don't think Vicario isn't being talked about enough, by the way. He had an incredible game. That was a superhero effort from him. Keep smiling, Jacob. You're not going to want to smile after what I say next.
No, I'm laughing. Someone's cooking me in the chat. Someone's cooking me in the chat.
Okay.
That's what it was.
He cannot do that every match. He cannot do it as consistently as he has been doing it. He has been arguably the best goalkeeper in the Premier League. But again, up until this week, save for Liverpool, save for Arsenal, the competition really hasn't been that hard. And they're giving up a lot of chances. And Vicario has been there to stop them. So it's going to be very dependent. I know I'm being wishy-washy on this. That's why I'm one half of the American waffle is, can they stay healthy? And can Vicario keep up this pace? Because this attacking football gives up a lot of chances on the counter. So, go ahead.
But the main thing is after what Postecoglou said, he's not going to let go. He's not going to adjust to what his. You know what I'm saying? If he doesn't,
I know he's not. And that's give up. He's not going to give up the ghost. He's not going to take a draw. We saw that, but at some point, that's going to end up costing you.
Yeah, no doubt. I agree.
With 9 men, obviously your chances are low. So I can see why you would throw everything at it. I can see why he did it. That isn't what a majority of people would have done.
Now Wolves should be. I mean, they're a tough team, but that should be a must win, Jacob. If you think about City and everybody else coming up.
Must win. I mean, I guess that's your expectation of where we're supposed to be. It's where everyone's expectation.
You want them to win, don't you?
Of course, I want them to win. I don't understand. Look, the media and other people have implied things about Spurs and Spurs fans and our expectations and this, that, and the other. But sometimes it's always best to just ask, "What are your expectations, Jacob? What do you think?" And then say, "What?" Because look. The result versus Chelsea does not necessarily affect my outlook for the season on whether I feel like this season was productive or not, on how I feel about Ange Postecoglou. Like the Chelsea, it wasn't hinging on that Chelsea result. neither is it hinging on the Wolves result. So for me personally, I want to keep seeing what we're doing. And until I have any real expectations, I'm saying I need at least 3 more windows. I've said the same thing after the summer window closed. Said this is an Ange's team. What are we looking at here? We're not looking at Ange Postecoglou.
Title race.
See people like Mo who have no skin in either game, whether they do or they don't. It's just better for conversation's sake to say.
I've never heard Jacob. To be fair, I've never heard Jacob.
I'm not accusing Jacob. I'm talking about myself.
Oh, okay.
I said that if this Tottenham team, the starting 11, stay healthy with a little bit of additions in the January transfer window, they are good enough as a starting 11 team under this manager, can go not to win the title, but can be there and thereabout, can guarantee top 4. With the Van de Ven injury now, with Romero 3 red cards, right? I don't know what is going to happen to that defense because they have no backup. That's what I'm saying. I am absolutely 100% was one of the people that defended Spurs every stream. And Jacob, you can vouch for this.
You defended us last year as well. When we actually were,
and then I said it's abysmal. It was absolutely no, because he turned into a whiner like he did for Inter, like he did for everybody, right? Let me do this, guys. Big up everybody that joined us, of course, from This Is Football, and everybody that stayed with us, of course, guys. Hit that like button for us. Get us to 300 likes. Send your super chats if you want to get involved, of course, or not. Romero is a ticking bomb in a suitcase. I kept telling people that, and they said no, he has been disciplined, and he has. But it was a ticking bomb because history said that Romero is a ticking bomb, and he did, and he cost his team. I thought he cost your team, to be honest. Mike That's saying James' elbow was not reviewable. Play resumed, then they stopped it. The opposite of Liverpool offside, so hold that argument dead. One of the things, yes, but the player played quickly and they told him to stop it. Anyway, I actually think that James should not have gotten a red card at all, and you cannot review a yellow card. So Mike Das, I'm just telling you that actually wasn't an elbow. It was an arm raised, hit the face. It wasn't an elbow, and it was not tough enough to be a red card at all. And at the end, James is the one who played the ball. So I don't think that was a red card at all. This argument is dead for me. Listen, I want to move on a little bit to Jacob, Arsenal. Why do you say Arsenal aren't good enough to be in the top 4?
They're led by a fraudulent manager.
Why is that?
And fraudulent starts at the top, tears roll downhill, and that's just a result of this is the manifestation of that. The more years.
How can you say that? I'm sorry. How this is his first job. He improved tons of players on that team, including Gabriel, Saka, I can name Martinelli. Odegaard was a lost case at Real Madrid. Look at his season last year, right? He improved. Who else? He improved Granit Xhaka to be last year one of the best players in that position as a left 8, right? He improved Ben White after people said Ben White isn't a good player. Didn't he, though? So all of this say that he's a good manager. He made the team sensational last year. How many teams you have watched that got 50 points after 19 games? Not many in the recent history of the Premier League. Not many. So in my opinion, you have no evidence of saying that. Him bottling the league at the end of the season is lack of experience, is replacing Saliba that wasn't there when he was injured. But otherwise, they were playing fine. You have no evidence of saying that. What's your evidence of saying that? That he's not a good manager. Based on what? You play 5 games good against Ange Postecoglou and you're praising his name? Is that what you're saying? So why not Arteta get the flowers of his work?
The flowers of his work. The only flowers Arteta got is they're growing out the dog shit in the backyard from Win. All right, so shout out to groundskeeper. You need to go scoop that up. I don't know what flowers you want this man to get. 4 years, 700 million, and he's struggling to even get a point versus Spurs at home. And I'm supposed to act like this guy's a title challenger. He spends $105 million on a average, a little bit above average player, 60 million on a positionless player, and you want me to sit up here and say, oh, Arsenal are going to do this and that? I don't think it. I think it's just a matter of time. It's just a matter of time. And look, y'all can say I'm wrong. You can say whatever you want about my opinions, and that's all good.
You didn't give me any. Okay, so tell me the reasons one by one, and I can argue them. Or anybody can welcome to argue if you disagree with a point. Give me the reasons. Number 1, 4 years, right? That's his first job. So he developed with the team. He's developing with the team. He's learning. So that's the first answer.
Oh, he's
You're
developing
not allowed
with
to
this
do that.
team.
How
he's
long?
learning.
So what's how long can you learn for? I guess is my question back to you,
That's
Mo. How long?
That was my
how
next
long,
question as well.
Yeah, how long can you learn for? Because a
Because
lot
if
of
I get
the
a job
Arsenal
and I
fans-
did 4 years
I'm
later,
getting-
I'm still struggling. Go
yeah,
ahead,
I'm getting a little frustrated myself with the form that Arsenal are on right now, and the fact that we're not getting the best out of players like Saka, we're not getting the best out of players like Odegaard, and I do blame the manager for that because we have changed tactics from last year. We are not producing the amount of goals that we had last year. Obviously, there are a lot of mitigating factors there, but we are not performing up to my standard and a lot of other Arsenal fans' standards at this point. Yes, we only have one goal in the league or one loss in the league, but if you go back and look at the games, it's just not as progressive in the attacking third than it was last season. So why
Oh, hold on. You're back in
that's why people,
Jacob.
That makes him a fraud?
That's why people are calling me negative. I'm calling it as I see it. I want to see more goals, and if we do not start producing in the final third, we're not title contenders. We'll be in the top 4, but we're not title contenders. I expect more. That's all I'm saying. I expect more than what I'm seeing, and unfortunately, we need at least a number.
I'm sorry,
9.
TJ. You're already throwing the towel.
No, I'm not throwing in the towel. I'm just saying.
You look like you are,
We
Chris.
need,
Back me up here.
letting me,
Does he
Mo,
sound like throwing the towel?
You're not letting me. You're literally interrupting me. You're not letting me finish.
All
I'm
right,
literally saying
I'm gonna shut up. I'm gonna shut up until you finish.
We need another attacking mid because Havertz was a shambolic signing. We all knew it was to begin with. We need another right wing, a legitimate right wing to back up Bukayo Saka, and we need a legitimate number 9. That's it. Then
you need to spend another 300 million. They'll be all right, Mo. Give them another 4 years, another 700 mil. They'll figure it out.
What? No, I have realistic expectations, and people expect me to say we're going to compete with Man City when we have Nketiah leading the line. Come on, I'm not delusional. I just speak with facts.
Okay.
But the way it is, you see,
Go ahead, Chris. The
way it is, though, yeah. I mean, you got to say that Arsenal and Liverpool, and you got to give Tottenham their respect. Because I look. People always say this. Tottenham was leading for forever. People always say, "Yeah, but they're gonna lose. Yeah, but they're gonna Spursy this and that." Man, let's look at the season. Let's not look at 20 years ago. Let's look at the season. You know what I'm saying? So I will say that I don't think Aston Villa is part of the conversation. Newcastle is not part of the conversation. I think to be honest with you, it's got to be Liverpool, Arsenal, and Tottenham to compete. Not clearly, City is got a nice lead. I mean, they're a team that it's tough to beat. But you got to say those 3 teams are there to compete for the title. So why is it so hard to admit that? I mean, and you know, when I asked Jacob about expectations and that, you know, I don't know, man, but I feel like, are you just like riding with the wind and hope and see what's happening, or what are your expectations for Spurs? I mean, what would you like to see? You know what I mean? Because you're about one of the few Spurs pundits that I know.
Before we go to Spurs, I'm sorry. I want to stick to Arsenal a little bit. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I just want to stick to this Arsenal thing, right? So what TJ? He made one mistake, which is signing Kai Havertz, right? Is that
you could argue he's made several mistakes in
that's not one that's the most recent signing mistake, but he makes mistakes every week.
Did Guardiola make mistakes, people? Nolito,
yeah, but he's made more successful signings than non-successful signings. Could we agree on that?
Arteta.
No, I'm talking about Pep.
Oh, it's more successful.
Mo brought up Pep. That's why I'm
just giving an example.
The thing with Pep,
but by doing that, you're insinuating that Pep has also made as many bad signings as Arteta has, and that's just flat not true.
I'm not saying that.
Arteta
has made a simple question. Did they make mistakes or not?
Did
they make Pep? Did he make a mistake?
Well, no one's perfect, Mo.
Thank you. But Pep has way more experience and has way more backup behind him. Someone to back him up all the time. The board.
He's also got a lot more success
stayed
to
years
fall back on as well.
With them not signing top players.
He also has a lot more managerial success to fall back on and say, this is my credibility.
Arteta doesn't. I don't disagree with that. But we have to wait to see the Arteta and the finish line. Like this
Yeah,
year.
cool.
but how long-
This
but
is the
Mo,
same
Mo,
thing
Mo, you
Spurs
didn't
fans
answer
say
my
about
question.
Ryan
Mo,
Sessegnon.
you didn't answer my
Confidence. Just
question
wait.
before.
Give him time and confidence. It's like,
Yeah, Mo, you didn't ask my question before, and I know I'm going to sound like a super negative Arsenal fan. Just put me in the league gunner camp. That's fine. But how long do you give? How long do you give this manager? How much money do you give this manager?
I'm gonna tell you, it's not about the money. It's not about the money. It's about progression. Arsenal this year, guys, it's all about context and progression. If Arsenal regress this year, finish third, 15 points behind City or something, don't go to the quarterfinal of the Champions League, I'm going to say, yeah, Arteta, you regressed, you failed, you go move to the next manager. But if they challenge this year, you go all the way with Manchester City, right? You go all the way to the end of the line. You go to the quarterfinal of the Champions League. You go out against Real Madrid, Bayern Munich, or even Manchester City, right, on a small margins. You perform well, I would call that a progression. That notion is that he has to win this year is absolutely ridiculous to me, right? I hear your point, TG. You want to see more fluid football because you feel the regression. You are feeling that the regression is coming. I'm hearing your point, right?
It's here. It's not coming.
I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. Manchester City are still the strongest team in the league, right? They signed 300 million pound players together with Doku, Nunes, Kovacic, Gavardiol, I don't know who else, right? And also they have a lot of players that are very good. Still, Kevin De Bruyne isn't even back. They have the best manager in the world. No argument, right? So people are asking Arteta to win. If you're asking Arteta to be better and play better football, I'm with you. I'm absolutely with you here. But there's a lot of people that's already predicting the failure.
Yeah,
and I see no evidence of that.
I'm on the wait and see train, and people can say, "Hey, TJ, you have splinters in your ass." That's fine. But my question is what does progression look like this season? What does realistic progression look like this season? For me, my expectation is a trophy. I don't care if it's an FA Cup. Up until last week, I wouldn't have cared if it was a Carabao Cup. But we need silverware. We need to start winning.
But what do you think about your manager throwing away the Carabao Cup?
I disagreed with it. I thought that lineup was shambolic. We had Declan Rice on the bench. I thought it was shambolic, to be honest.
Let me do the super chat from Football Heritage. Of course, Sava and Preachy, the guys over there, say, sorry, but this title is City's again. I agree with this. They are superior to everybody, of course. Spurs will be nowhere near a title, probably. Fans did this last year with Conte. We need years to be in with a chance. Big up, Mo. Thank you. My point I keep saying is, the way you were playing football, the way Ange Postecoglou managed the team, it looked like a sustainable brand of football. And I'm not counting you out now. I say now it's tougher. I don't know who's super chatting. Thank you for the support. It's Sava or Preachy. It's tougher now with Van de Ven injury and Romero being out. However, your starting 11 under this manager is comparable to a lot of other teams. I saw Bissouma, one of the best players at the moment in the midfield. Madison, arguably the best number 10 in the league, right? And Youngmin's son is scoring left and right. The problem is left wing because Solomon is injured, Richarlison is not good enough, and Johnson is still new. Kulusevski creates the most chances in the Premier League. Van de Ven, one of the quickest center backs in the league. Vicario, by numbers and by the eye test, is one of the best goalkeepers. Started a little bit shaky in the beginning of the season, but every sign said that Spurs starting 11 are good. And I never sit and assume injuries, especially for a team that already have one competition to play for. It's only the Premier League. It's one game a week. With every 2 months, you'll have a 2 weeks of gap because of international football, right? So I'm not going to sit here and assume injury. That was my argument for Spurs. It's the same argument that I had for Arsenal last year. I saw people keep doubting Arsenal. I said there was no sign of this team slowing down last year. There was no sign until the injury happened. But I can't predict injuries because I'm not a doctor. I don't measure the players' muscle strength every week. I'm not in that room. Some people assume that by the way, Madison will get injured. Based on what? Did he have an injury history? Did you watch Mickey Van de Ven before and you know that he's going to get injured? Did Romero get injured before for a long time?
Well, we keep taking timeouts in the first half like it's American football. We'll see a lot more hamstrings go, I'll tell you that much.
That's a different story.
He's got a point.
But that for everybody that says Madison doesn't people that say Madison has a track record of injury, please go and look. Yes.
The same
that's
people are saying that Madison is hurt. This man left the stadium in a walking boot after one match, and he played the following game the week later. This guy walked around the pitch yesterday. He is not injured. I don't understand the notion that Madison is injured. I think
By the way,
Madison
go check in history, Jacob. The guy never played less than 30 games a season. 32, 35, 34. Like, that's not injuries. Like, that's not long-term injury.
Yeah, because he would go like 1 game, 2 games, 3 games here, there, and it's kind of sprinkled throughout. And then people see a long list of 1 game. Here's 3 games. Here's 2 games. And they say, oh, he has an injury history. It's not like Zaniolo or anything.
Guys, by the way, tomorrow afternoon, 1 p.m. UK, I have Sava here with me, of course, with Kunli as well. We're going to have a great show for you. Make sure to turn on the notification bell. Get us to 200 likes, people. Get us to 200 likes. Big up Sava, of course. We're going to argue this more, but I said before, I cannot predict injuries. I don't do them unless a player like Kevin De Bruyne, who has a hamstring that is nagging him, or a John Stones. This is what I say. Yes, you are injury prone. Like, we have a player, Arnautovic, keeps getting injured. Yes, I'm going to say that he keeps getting injured. Madison doesn't. I didn't know the history of Romero. I didn't see him getting injured a lot. But anyway, I see the point. But how unlucky they are. How unlucky they are to both center backs be out. But again, we left Arsenal. We go to Spurs. And long story short, everybody says that the title is City. I get that, right? It is. Maybe this is finished. Last thing in the show, we got 5 minutes left, right? Can Liverpool win the title?
If they get a number 6, absolutely. I think why not?
That's to me. That's not even that should be a concern, but that's not the main concern.
So what is the main concern?
The striker,
Darwin Núñez. Talk more.
You can't win a title with somebody that's so inconsistent. That his lowest is the goal open, and he will find a way to shoot it somewhere else other than the goal. That's his lowest. He's been scoring, he's been assisting, he's been doing this and that. But when it comes to clutch time, something happens. Something happens. And I mean, that's the way. I mean, Mo Salah should have how many more assists? I mean, this Gravenberch, all these guys should have way more assists than they do. Darwin Núñez, man, he just I don't know. And Liverpool know better. They know Suarez. That's a lethal scorer. But Núñez, man, it's tough to see sometimes.
But they have others.
Who's the other?
Someone back me here. They have Gakpo. They have Jota, right? They have Salah.
They have what, 5 different attackers that would start
5 different. Yes, thank you so much. I'm like,
I'm talking about a center striker.
Consistency is an issue, though. Can we agree on that? I mean,
a center striker. We're talking about a center striker. I'm not talking about wingers.
Cody Gakpo can play as a false 9. Mohamed Salah and Lewis Diaz can get.
I really think Cody Gakpo could play if they want to do what they try.
But can they consistently put the ball in the back of the net? That's the question.
Liverpool can.
If Liverpool want to operate,
how forward line in the league.
I know, but can my question is can they be consistent both in the center striker position in that number 9 and on the wings? They just drew against Luton, and your guys are wanting him to be in the.
That's a one-off. Like Man City losing against Wolves 2-1. That's a. So see,
I think Luton and Wolves are completely different.
TJ, what is the first thing you said, TJ? What is the first thing you said? If what? Who said the DM? Who's the first one here on our panel?
That was Jacob. That was
Jacob, right? Jacob said, did they tie that game because they didn't have a DM? Or they tied that game because all their forwards had an off day? That doesn't happen a lot.
I would say both things can be true simultaneously, because if you have a Rodri in there commanding what's happening, Luton aren't actually going to get those chances that they had in the first and second half in front of goal. They had a few chances. I'm saying they don't have an anchor that really solidifies in front of their box. That's just my opinion. I don't think McAllister's that guy. Anytime I've seen him, he's not that guy. So maybe
by the way, I agree with you. I agree with you. If they get a DM in January, the question is to ask you then to follow up. Can they hang in until January? Can they be around Manchester City until January? 3 points, 5 points, something like that until January.
I think that they should be able to. Klopp, to me, is the second best manager in this league. So with that, the expectation is that he should be able to stay in and around there. Liverpool showed their hand in the summer when they said, here, we're going to drop this amount of money on Caicedo, and it fell through. Well, then the fans are left there scratching their head. Hey, you have all this money for Caicedo, go and get someone. Then they get Endo. You know what I mean? Like, they got the money in January to splash on legitimate pieces. If they get a center back as well, you don't even need to get a fantastic DM. Just get a good DM, a solid DM. And I mean, could you imagine if Basuma or when Pablo Matisar slots into that 6, could you imagine that in a Liverpool? I think that would make them absolutely contenders.
I would have loved to see them get Lavia in. Obviously a healthy Lavia, but I would love to see him get Lavia in instead of Chelsea did.
Lavia, great.
Okay,
great
that's out of the
example.
question now. That's out of the question.
Yeah,
I know.
I
I'm just saying that they were in the conversation for
80 million. Get Paulinho. Your starting 11 is as good as anybody else in the world.
I'll put it this way, Mo, if you don't mind me saying this. I think Liverpool are where a lot of Twitter Spurs fans believe Spurs were before the Chelsea loss, which was in January, 2-3 signings, and we're legitimately there to compete with City. I think that is a truth for Liverpool. I just think that they just need a legitimate 6, a center back that can compete next there to Virgil van Dijk, and I don't know where else the holes are with them. They got arguably the best, I would say second best goalkeeper in the league right now, just based off the first 11 matches, but that's just yeah, go ahead. I know you got super chat.
Yeah, let me Romero averages a record every 18 games for Spurs, 4 in 75 games. Remind your friend who thinks Romero is bigger than Saliba because stats say Romero is better. That's for Will, who isn't here today. He'll be here soon again. Jacob, you don't believe that. We're not putting you. You don't believe Romero is better than Saliba as a defender, do you?
He loves Romero.
Mo,
Well,
when you ask that question, and there's such little time, you say it's simple. It is not. Is love simple?
It's very
Mo?
simple.
Is love simple?
Absolutely. I love
can be
you,
very
Jacob.
complicated.
I love you, Jacob, and it's a simple answer. See, I didn't need to complicate things.
I'll put it this way. Pumpkin pie is great. Some people like cherry pie. For me, Romero pie will always be better than Saliba pie. And that's just my preference, y'all. I'm not saying nothing's wrong with your pie. That's just me. I would never, maybe, and this is just my drawback as a content creator, that I can never rate a Arsenal player over a Spurs player. I just can't do it. I don't see it personally. And I refuse to
just
see
shake it, shake it, shake it. Forget you're a Spurs fan. Shake it.
Zero chances it's going to work. Go ahead.
Shake it. Yeah. Go ahead. Huh?
Cootie, can't you see?
Yeah,
Sometimes your tackles hypnotize me, and I just love your World Cup ways. And this is why they're broke, and TJ's not paid. There you go. That's my answer for you. Cootie Romero every single time. But hey, there's people who are going to disagree with me. I defended him last year when he was not good because I know there's a player in there. It's just a matter of what you get on the day. And unfortunately, it seems like Chelsea, for some reason, brings something out of Kuti that is just barbaric. Remember last year with the Cucurella hair pull? I think Chelsea players remembered that, and they wanted to really get into his head, and they did. They rattled him. And so maybe mentally Saliba's stronger, but in every other facet, I'm going Romero.
I'm not getting this.
Do you have to be on the field to put in tackles? Just a question.
I'm sorry. What was the question? I was reading the chat. They're roasting me for.
I know. No. This chat is absolutely cooking.
Yeah, they.
Do you have to be on the field to put in tackles like that? And not suspended.
That seems like a pretty obvious question and answer.
Okay. I'm just checking. Because you just dropped some bars, which I commend you for. But the best ability is availability, my friend.
Well, hey, yeah, that's what makes Højbjerg so great, and that's why I say the correlation's there with Declan Rice. Again, shout out Højbjerg. What a great little interim role he did there. So
yeah. If you're lucky, he'll stay interim.
Listen, I'm checking who's live after to give him the. Is Staffy? Staffy, are you alive after this? I've tried to text the guy.
Are you alive after this? Hope he's alive.
Is he alive after this?
No, Staffy's alive. Staffy's alive. Trust me.
He's live. Is he live after this? Come on. Is he live after this? People, hit that like button for us. I got a minute, but I just gotta have to wait for Staffy to redirect or something. Are you live, Staffy? Just let me know.
I don't think that he is.
Is Tottenham away live after this? Are Tottenham away live after this? No, they're not. No, so
Damn,
nobody is live.
man.
But anyone, thank you people for watching us. This was a crazy stream, actually. It was actually crazy, right? Thank you everybody that watched us. Thank you everybody that joined us from Osam. From This Is Football. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. Hit that like button. Get us to 200 likes before you go. Thanks for all the super chatters. And Tottenham away aren't live as well. CFC Pirate, Mike D says Football Heritage TV. Make sure to the notification bell tomorrow, 1 p.m. UK time. We're gonna have Football Heritage TV here, Saba, and we're gonna have Kunle, of course, from Tunnel TV. It would be a great one. And Jay, of course, with the one that gave us the stat about Romero. Thank you, everybody that watched us. Thank you, Jacob, TJ, and Chris. Guys, I need each and every one of these panelists, great panelists, to have 50 subscribers after this. Their channels are pinned in the description. All you have to do is just you go, give them a link, a click, and it will take you to their channels. I want 50 subscribers for each and every single one of them. And I want you to like the last video or the last 10 if you can, because that helps them a lot. That helps our channel a lot. Make sure to hit that like button before you go. Thank you, everybody that joined us. We appreciate you guys. I appreciate all the panelists, of course. Make sure to check their channels in the description. And we'll see you guys tomorrow afternoon in about less than 12 hours. We'll see you guys later.
Come on, you Gunners.